ஓகேவா? So that is the reason he got it.
Hello. Hi, Amish. Hi, Sunil.
Hi, Shweta.
But finally, it doesn't run our condition.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, I have a
So we'll wait for 5 minutes and then we will start. So meanwhile, if you guys have anything to ask, you can ask them. Okay, I think we better start because yeah, this is mostly the process time, so I don't want to waste your time waiting for others. So we'll start with the session now. Let me share this screen. So how was the test last week? So are you able to do the problems? Okay. Okay, so this week for the syllabus, so use testing. With that, we will be completing the black box testing techniques, and then we will have the white box testing technique, so which is statement testing, decision testing, and so these two are the white box testing techniques, and there are other techniques also which I'll be explaining in the call today. And then there is one more testing technique which is called error guessing and exploratory testing. Okay, so use case testing, you don't have any problems like the other test techniques. So this is use case is nothing but a test case kind of a test case which is usually given by a user. So the user, whoever is going to use the application, so they will be giving us some users, they give us in the form of Word document, and some users they will put all the steps in an Excel sheet and give. And there are several templates that we use for a use case, and some people they use maps, mind maps. Okay, so it's like a diagrammatic representation. So in that way, we will get the use cases from the users. So users are nothing but the actors who do the action, and then the system. So system is like how the application is responding to the action done by the user. So that is called use case testing, and mostly for use case testing, you will have a normal multiple choice questions on. I mean, there are no problems as such. Okay, and then let's see statement testing and decision testing. Okay. So here we have the white box, the chart symbols. So generally, white box testing is, so far we have seen the black box test techniques. So black box testing we have already discussed last time, right? So it is testing a system without knowing the internal structure of the application, or you don't have to know the coding part of the application, and you will be checking only the front end of the application. So whereas this white box testing, it is actually, you will, instead of the front end, you will be checking the code in the application. So mostly this will be done by the developers, but in most of the cases testers will also be doing the white box testing. Okay, so for that we have to know certain symbols, because this is what we use for general coding and all. So this is the symbol use which we use for starting, ending, and this is for a statement, process, and these are the edges. Okay, so and this is for this this one is used for decision. So going forward, you will understand what it is. So these are all the nodes, and these are all the links or the edges. Okay, so the first one that we have is statement coverage. So statement coverage is nothing but a white box testing where you will ensure whether each and every line of the code is executed at least one time during the testing. So you will have to ensure that the entire code is executed at least once. Okay. For example, if you see here, so how many test cases are needed to achieve 100% statement coverage? So this is the coding part that they have. Okay, so if temperature is less than 0 or temperature is greater than 100, then there is an alert. Okay, so once the alert comes, then again if the speed is greater than 100 and load is less than 50, then they will maintain the speed as 50. Else, so you will just mention that the check is false. So the else it is false, that's all. If it is true, you will come to this action. So this is the back-end coding, and for this we will be having a front-end screen. But how do we verify the statement coverage? So when code is given like this, then we should convert that into a flow chart. Okay, so the same thing whatever is explained in this code. Okay, so the same thing has been done flow chart here. So if you see here, so this is the symbol of the starting, right? Start, and so then you will be verifying the temperature is less than 0 or temperature is greater than 100. Then what happens? If it is true, it comes to the alert. If it is false, then the check is false. So this is the if condition here, right? Sorry. Yeah. So this is the if condition, right? So if true, this one. Else, check is false. So the same thing is given here. So if this is true, then you will have to do an alert as danger, and then you will be verifying the speed. Okay, and finally you will be mentioning if this satisfies this condition, so the speed is 50. Okay, so otherwise finally this is the end, and once the check is false, again this is the end. So the entire thing you have mentioned it as a flow diagram here. So how many test cases do you need to verify at least all these statements at least once? So all these the lines of code. Okay, so here if you see, so first of all we have to know what is a statement here. Okay, so there are certain things called conditions and statements. Okay, so here this if condition, so these are conditions. The temperature is less than 0 or temperature is greater than 100. This is a condition, whereas this is a statement. So alert is danger and check is false. So these are all the statements. Just by looking into it, you should be able to understand that this is a statement, and that is why it was given in these boxes. And these are the conditions. So here we have 2 conditions and 3 statements. Okay, but what is that we are verifying here? Statement coverage. So that means when you write the test cases, so when you validate this entire thing, so you have to make sure that the statements are covered at least once. Okay, so let us take a positive flow. So if you take some temperature greater than 100, okay, for example, if the temperature is 120 degrees, so then it comes to this if condition, and if it is 120 degrees, that means the alert is danger. And then again the speed. So if the speed is some, again it is some 150. So then it will check this condition, and then it shows the speed as 50. It will reset the speed as 50. Okay, so that is like, for example, if you take the temperature as 120, so it will be covering this entire line, right? So where you are validating statement 1 and statement 3 will be covered. Then the statement 2 should also be verified, right? So we should also check the negative condition. So if the temperature is apart from these things, so that means maybe the temperature can be between 0 to 100. So if the temperature is 50 degrees, so then automatically, so it is not satisfying this condition, and it will come to the else part. So which says check is false. So no need of there is no danger, and you can move ahead. So something like that. Okay, so then again it comes to the end. So here, so when you give input 2 different values, so you will be verifying all the 3 statements. So that is like 2 test cases you will be writing. So one is this positive flow, and 1 test case for this negative flow. So the test cases required to cover 100% of the statement coverage are 2 test cases. So I hope you are able to follow it. You can stop me anytime, okay, because this is little confusing. And right, so and the next one is decision coverage. So here we have discussed about covering the statements, okay, and now we will talk about covering the decisions. So decision coverage is also called as branch coverage. So these are nothing but the branches. Okay. It covers the true or false outcomes of each Boolean expression. So here if you have a if condition, so it is like if true or if false. Okay. So that means you will be validating the true or false conditions. For the given fragment of code, following paths or test cases have been executed, what decision coverage is achieved? So here now they have given us the test cases. So this is the flow chart that they have. Okay, so this is a condition, like if something if A is true, it comes to B. If B is true, it comes to D, and if B is false, it comes to C. And again, if D is true, again it comes to F. If D is false, it comes to G. So something like that. Okay, true or false. So it has a condition. So here they have verified, in one test case, they have verified these 3 statements A, B, C. Okay, and in another test case, they are verifying A, B, D, G, H. So that means they have left out the node F and node I. Okay, so if they have to cover the node F and I also, again they should have another test case A, B, DF, GI. Okay, so like that they should have another test case which should cover that one. But we have to find, here the question is different. What decision coverage is achieved? So how much percentage of decision coverage have they done here? So here you can see. So the branches covered in test case 1 and 2 are 5. Okay, so they have covered 5 branches, A, B, C, and here if you see D, G, H. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, sorry, so these 6 nodes they have covered, but the path, so A to B, B to C, so like that they have covered 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, B to D and D to G, H. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 branches they have covered here, and how much is actually pending? So total number of decisions is 8 here. Okay, so this is one decision and this is one decision. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you have 8 decisions over here, out of which they have covered 5. So the decision coverage here is, we have a formula here. So which is number of decisions executed by total number of decisions. So which is 5 by 8, that is 62%. For the 8 into 100. Okay. So 62%. So this is how you will be calculating the decision coverage. And yeah. So here we have another example. So find the number of test cases required for statement coverage and decision coverage in the given code. So generally this is how the questions will be. So you will be given a code and you are asked to find out the statement and decision coverages. Okay, so here this is the code. Again you have to draw a flow diagram for this code. Okay, so if A is greater than B, then C is A minus B, else C is A plus B, and if and read D, and if C equal to D, then print error. So this is a code and the same thing you are mentioning here. Okay, so if A is greater than B, C is A minus B, and C is A plus B if A is not greater than B. Okay, so if the condition is true, you will come to this statement. If the condition is, decision is false, it will come to this statement. Okay, and either cases, after completing this statement, again it is coming to read D, and finally this whatever C that we are finding in the true condition or whether it is in the false condition, the value of the C, again you are comparing it with D, and if it is again true, then it is showing error, and if it is false, it comes to N. Okay, so this is how you are representing this code into a flow diagram. So how many statement coverages and how many decision coverages we can do? Okay, so here how many test cases do you need? So if you have to cover this decision, okay, let us see the statements first. So here again you have to see how many statements do you have. Statement 1, statement 2, and statement 3. So you have 3 statements. So once you input a value here, you can come to this statement like this, and you can come here. So in one test case, you can cover statement 1 and 3. Okay, in another test case, so if you, again you can come to the false statement and you will be covering this part, statement 2, read, and you can come out like this, or you can come here. And so in either cases you need at least 2 test cases to cover all the statements. In the same way, how many do you need for the decision coverage? So decision coverage means again here, so you input a value here and again it comes down, come down, okay, and here again you are verifying this thing and you are coming out. So 2 test cases for statement and 2 test cases for decision. Statement Okay, so this is decision 1 and decision 2. Okay, yeah. So this decision 1, you have to validate the condition yes and no. Okay, so when you check both yes and no, that means you will be validating decision 1, right? So in the same way for decision 2 also, you have to validate the yes and no part. So how many test cases do you need? Again, if you input the value and if you come to the decision 1 yes, come down, and decision 2 yes. So this is one test case. Okay, and again if you can come decision 1 no, come down, and decision 2 no. Okay, so that means another test case. So you need 2 test cases to cover the decisions. So I hope you are understanding this. Okay, just let me know. So so these things you can try with some values. So if you have some values for A, B, C, D, then you will understand like what kind of how you are actually covering the entire statements and the decisions. Okay, so here the yes and no are the decisions. So that means here in total we have 2 decisions for which you will be validating both yes and no. So that means in total you have to validate 4 conditions, right? Yes, no for decision 1 and yes, no for decision 2. So you can come in this way also. Decision 1 can be yes and decision 2 can be no. In the same way, decision 1 can be no, come down, and decision 2 can be yes. Okay, so that will also make 2 test cases. So in any case, if you have to cover the entire thing, you need 2 test cases for each. Okay, so this path coverage, I didn't see it in the syllabus, but I'll just tell you what is this path coverage. Then we can go to some examples. Okay, so path coverage. So far we have seen the statement coverage, okay, and the decision coverage. And again, these are the paths, right? So the way these lines, if you see these lines, so the way they are going, so that is the path. So we should also be checking the path, okay. So the same similar example, I think it's the same example only. How many test cases are required to cover the path coverage? See, when they ask for the decision coverage, it's only 2 test cases, but for the path coverage, the answer is 4. So we'll see how it is 4. So path coverage ensures that every path is traversed at least once. This technique is used for testing complex programs. So the same thing. Okay, you have to now. Here we have the statement 1, statement 2, statement 3. Decision 1, yes, no. Decision 2, yes, no, right? So now we have one new thing over here, which is path. Okay. So this is path 1. Okay. This is path 2. Path 3. Path 4. Path 5. Path 6. Path 7. So you have to cover 7 paths. Okay. So for example, if we take decision 1 yes and decision 2 yes. So that means you will be covering path 1, P1, P2, P3 and P4. Okay, this is one test case. In the same way, you are covering decision 1 no and decision 2 no. Okay, so that means you will be covering P5, P6 and P7. Okay, so if you take only test case 1 and test case 2, it will be sufficient for verifying the decision coverage. But here we are doing the path coverage. So that means we have missed out this path, P1, P2, P7. Okay, so that is another test case. So this will be covering decision 1 yes and decision 2 no. In the same way, decision 1 no and decision 2 yes. So if you see my cursor, so this is another one. So P1, P2, P7, P1, P2 and P7. In the same way, P5, P6, P3 and P4. So here we will get 4 test cases to check the path. So now overall, if you take this diagram, so you need 2 test cases to cover the statements, 2 test cases to cover the decisions and 4 test cases to cover the entire path. Okay, so we'll see some examples. Given the following fragment of code, how many tests are required for 100% decision coverage? So the same, so you have a similar coding part over here. So now you have to put everything in the flow diagram. If width is greater than length, then so and so. If height is greater than width, then so and so. So this entire thing, so if you put it in the flow diagram, this is how it will come. See here, this is the shape of this, if you see this rhombus, so this is a decision and this is a statement. So that is why this is in this block and the statement is in the rectangle. Okay, and these are the edges. So whatever this entire thing is given here, the code. So we have mentioned in the, we simplified it and made it in a flow chart. So now you can clearly see. So here the question is what? 100% decision coverage. So what all decisions that we will be covering? So if you see here, so total for this test, we need 4 test cases to cover the 100% decisions. So that means if you take a test case which can cover the yes of this statement, no, I mean yes of this condition and yes of this one. So this will be one test case. Again, yes of this condition and no of this one. So this is another test case. In the same way, no of width is greater than length and yes of this one. So this is test case 3. And again the no condition. So test case 4. So if you see, here we have one test case, 2 test cases, 3 and 4. So 4 test cases for a decision, 100% decision coverage. And then we have another example, switch PC on. So once the PC is on, then start Outlook. So if Outlook appears, then send an email, close Outlook. So again the same thing. So how many statement coverages and how many branch coverage? Branch coverage is nothing but the decision coverage. So the same thing. So if the PC is on, you will be starting the Outlook. So if Outlook appears, so again here it's a condition. So that means you will have yes condition and no condition. If it is yes, you will send an email and close the Outlook. If it is no, you will just close the Outlook. So seeing this, again we should be able to find out the statement coverage and the branch coverage. Okay, so how many statements are here? So here this is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. So you can just have one test case which will be like coming here. You can check the yes condition of this, send an email and close Outlook. So here you are verifying the statement in one test case itself. All the 3 statements are covered. Or the test case, if you have this test case, if you have the no condition and come to no condition, then it will be covering only 2 statements. But if you have this test case, it will be covering 3 statements, all the 3 statements. So one test case is enough for a statement coverage. So it can be either A, B or C. So now we will see how many test cases we need for branch coverage. So again, so here you will be validating yes and one more test case for validating no. So 2. So I think B should be the answer. Yeah. So here one test case for statement coverage and 2 test cases for branch coverage. Right. And similarly, we have one more example. I think this we have already seen the same program, right? So how many statement coverages and how many branch coverages? So this we have already seen. So here you need, for statement coverage, you need 2. So that one test case, another test case, 2 test cases, and again 2 test cases for the branch coverage. So one is the one which is validating this yes and this one, and one is for validating the no of this one. Okay. So that answer, sorry, yeah. Yeah, one test for statement coverage and I don't see the option here. One test case for statement coverage and it should be 2 for the branch coverage. Let's see one more time. Okay, statement coverage you need 2. Yeah, so sorry. Statement coverage you need 2 because one statement will be covering C is A minus B and then print error read D. So this is one test case and this is another test case. 2 for statement coverage and 2 for branch coverage. So option B is the answer. I think we didn't give it here. It's okay, but answer B will be the answer. And yeah, so similarly 100% decision coverage. So again we have to draw the picture here and you will be checking the decisions. So decision yes for the first one and decision no for the second one and decision no for the first one and decision yes for the second one. So here again for the second one it is you will have another 2 decisions, yes or no, and for this you have 2 more decisions. So altogether for all the decisions you need 4 test cases. So this is what we have for white box testing, and the other one that we have is error guessing. So error guessing is again it's based on your experience. So as you do more and more testing, you sometimes once you see the application you should be able to understand what kind of errors that the developers might do. Okay, so that is error guessing. And exploratory testing is nothing but you will just have the application, you will be given the application and you should be doing the entire testing based on your understanding. So it's like you will explore the application and do the testing. So that is exploratory testing. So this is what we have for this week. And if you guys have any doubts, you can just let me know. Okay. So, alright. I think Sunil, you just please note down the attendance also. Okay, so we'll be updating in our consolidated sheet.
Yeah.
And yeah. So that's all. Anything else? You guys have anything? Okay. Yeah, I think if we don't have anything, then we can just finish talk. Okay, guys. Then thank you. Thank you very much. Bye.